So in this segment, we're going to be talking about the Daily Mail turning on capitalism or crony capitalism. The communist Daily Mail getting very angry at this, talking about how much profits these companies have made, these water companies have made, and their CEOs and their shareholders, and the fact that they're not investing money back into the rivers and waterways to clean them up, essentially. The Soviet Daily Mail angry at capitalism. Madness, absolute madness. Who would have predicted this in 2022, huh? So, scandal hit water companies made £2.8 billion in combined operating profits last year, which campaigners say should go up to cleaning rivers in which they dump raw sewage. And now you could argue that they're just quoting people and things like that, but if the Daily Mail, didn't want to push this idea, they never would have ran with this story. They would have left this to The Guardian and other places. The companies were responsible for more than 400,000 sewage dumping events in 2020 alone, according to the Environmental Agency. That could have been, I don't think, were we still part of the EU 2020? I remember last year, 21, we weren't doing import checks, but there were problems getting chemicals. So you can see this has been a long-running problem, even whilst we were members of the EU. Chief executives are pocketing massive salaries, and £16.8 billion in dividends have been paid to shareholders in the last 11 years. And this Daily Mail website is one of the worst websites I've ever used, honestly. How to fill out a page 101, big pictures. Critics say they should invest profits in stopping spills which kill wildlife and cause disease. But Daily Mail, if they invest the money back into cleaning up the rivers, what about the shareholders? What about the shareholders? They'll lose out. They'll lose money. Can't have that, can we? Water companies are allowed to dump sewage during periods of high rainfall, but the number of such incidents have increased from 292,864 in 2019 to 403,171. I think I've read those numbers right, in 2020, a 37% rise. And we haven't seen that much adverse weather in the UK, I think, in the last couple of years. So this just, they're doing this because they can get away with it. Only 14% of rivers in England can claim to have good ecological status. That's something we've spoken about previously. The Byline Times did really good work there. United Utilities, which dumps sewage into rivers and bathing spots, where people can catch all sorts of illnesses, in UNESCO protected Lake District, made the highest operating profits last year of 602 million. So it's not a money thing. These companies can't argue they don't have the money to do it. What's happening is either the laws are too lax here, or the regulators too lax, and they're not doing their job properly. Because companies will get away with whatever they can. But if there was a strong regulator and they find massive fines for this kind of dumping, they wouldn't do it because it wouldn't be worth their money. Their shareholders would be outraged. But they get away with it because they can, because the regulator's too weak. I mean, why are these two in this picture, honestly? This website's an absolute mess. The Lib Dems who carried out the analysis demanded a sewage tax of 16% on water companies' profits to create an emergency fund for cleaning up rivers. It's kind of like a windfall tax. It's a decent idea. Lib Dem party leader Ed Davey said a big chunk of these profits should have been reinvested to protect Britain's rivers and Britain's streams and rivers. The whole thing stinks. It's true. But welcome to the Communist Party, Sir Ed Davies. Glad to have you on board, comrade. Go on, there's more. The Commons Environmental Audit Committee questioned the sky-high salaries and bonuses of water company bosses and called for Ofwat to limit bonuses after major or persistent breaches in permit conditions. I mean, again, if the House of Commons wanted to stop this stuff, they could do it. They could pass a lot more laws to stop this stuff, but they don't have any incentive to do it. And the simple fact is, this is capitalism. It's run for the shareholders. CEOs are there to maximize profits. So when it's time to pay out dividends, the shareholders make their most money they can. It's all greed. In certain places in the world, CEOs have a fiduciary responsibility to maximize profits for shareholders. They can get prosecuted if they don't. So this is all based around greed. This whole thing is based around greed. And the simple fact is, if these water companies aren't held accountable, they're going to continue to keep dumping in the waters. Because it makes them money. Then they save money by dumping it instead of cleaning out the water properly. They're going to keep doing it. The highest paid boss is United Utilities chief Steve Mogford, who earned £2.9 million in the last financial year. Second is Severn Trent chief Liv Garfield, who earned £2.8 million in the last financial year. There's girl power for you. Researchers from the University of Greenwich found huge dividends have been paid to shareholders, which has increased the cost of water and sewage to consumers by an average of £62 per household in the last 12 years. So they can't argue the money is going to clean up the water. The money is going to shareholders and CEOs. That's where the money is going. It always has done. In these sorts of companies, when you privatise utilities like this and you make them for profit, this is what's going to keep happening. We see it across the board with energy. They keep raising the prices, but the shareholders are making more and more money. The CEOs are making more and more money, but nothing's improving. Same thing with the internet. All of these private utilities, it's the same thing that's happened. A spokesperson for Water UK, an industry body, said there's an urgent need for action. So do something then, big man. Do something. Do something then. If there's an urgent need for action, do something. We need to combine new investment. Where's that investment going to come from? You guys are making money hand over fist. So are you going to invest the money or not? With action on wet wipes and urban creep that are increasing, triggering spills. Are they though? Because you said it was meant to be down to adverse weather conditions. Again, I get that as more houses are being built, then it does create more pressure on the waterways. But not to this scale. And wet wipes, are wet wipes causing all these problems? You get massive problems in sewers due to wet wipes, and there needs to be more kind of guidance to people around flushing wet wipes. But are these the real problems here, urban creep and wet wipes, or is it that you guys are making massive profits and not reinvesting the money? Is that the case? Because I think it is. Is there any more? I don't think so. But the simple fact is, the Daily Mail fails to understand this is capitalism. And if the Daily Mail is going to turn on this kind of capitalism, then it's a crazy world we live in. Welcome to the fold, Comrade Mail. Welcome to the fold, Colin Fernandez, the environment correspondent. We'll send these men to the gulag if you want. But the simple fact is, this is the system that we created. This is the system that, people like Thatcher wanted. Massive profits and for shareholders and CEOs, whilst the ordinary person pays for it. The infrastructure is not going to get improved because there's no incentive to. No one's going to make them do it. So why would they? Because if they improve the infrastructure, if they start cleaning up the water more, that's a massive loss for shareholders. That's a massive loss for CEOs. And that's what the system's built for. It's a whole house of cards. What more is there to say on this one, apart from let me know what you think in the comments below. Do you think this is the Daily Mail taking a Soviet turn? I don't know, but yeah, let me know what you think. Actually, I want to see what Labour have to say about this. We'll see if they're going to say anything about this. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Like, comment, share, subscribe, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one.